Hey, Peter.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Wait, let's do that. That'll just be the thing.
All right.
Hey, Adam.
Hey.
Oh,
Sorry.
1, 2.
Hey,
Hey,
Peter.
Adam.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you. That was awkward. Can we recreate that? Yes, we just did.
We're having one of those days, man.
But the most awkward part, I mean, I have this on a schedule. I apologize. But the most awkward part of that is we thought it was actually manufactured.
Yeah, I know. It was not natural at all.
No.
That's why it was so awkward.
I know. Yeah, we spoke on top of each other, and then we're like, wait, let's make that a thing. And so, as we've often said in our improvisation lessons and just advice in general, do
listen.
not listen. But that's an example of trying to play a contrived solo. You spend time learning, transcribing a solo, and then you're like, I'm going to play lick number 3 from the Sonny Rollins solo I just learned on the 7th chorus, and it comes out. It's like, wow, that didn't sound like Sonny Rollins.
It was super funny when we did it by accident.
Exactly.
And then we tried to do it in a funny way. It was
so
terrible.
As a service to our beloved listeners, we wanted to exemplify what not to do when you're improvising by showing what we were doing with a verbal improvisation. Am I saving it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're saving it. You know what, Ryan, let's just keep both of those in there. We'll do the original one. And then
that'll be good.
You know
They can compare a spontaneous mess up with a manufactured mess up.
Going behind the scenes here. We're breaking the fourth wall.
We
Actually,
are.
This pod cave doesn't have 4 walls. It has,
barely
has 2.
It's got a vertical, a horizontal wall. Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the number one thing you need to play better.
Bam. Mic drop, value driven. What else can we give them?
You know, we're getting into our, I love these, by the way.
Are we over-promising?
Well, no. This is the number one thing you need to get better at anything. And I love it when we do our inspirational episodes, right? When we just talk about, because, you know, it's a grind, man. Playing jazz is not something we're doing to...
It's a noble grind.
It is a noble grind. It's because you're doing it for the love of the music, for the love of the art form, for the love of your fellow musicians and your audience members. And it can be hard. So I like the inspirational episodes of the You'll Hear podcast because it can't all just be about two-handed lock chord stepwise voicings.
Thank God it
You know
can't
what I
be.
mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just to tease this along, in about 7 minutes, we're going to tell you the actual one thing.
7 minutes.
We're going to banter until then. No, but, you know, the number one thing you need to play better. I want everyone, let's frame the discussion here, okay? Or as you like to say, painted done.
That's right.
Perhaps. And that would be that this is not the only thing. I know a lot of people can be like, oh, cool. This is the only thing I need to play better, or the one thing you need to play better. But we don't say that. We see the number one thing you need to play better. And I think our thought process on this is for it to be, there's a number of elements, of course, and that's the joy of us coming together with this podcast and connecting with the community. And for all of us as jazz players, that's what makes it so fun. It's like the challenge of it. I mean, it's like, you know, people that are into playing baseball, they got these professional baseball, I don't know. Are we considering the Cardinals professional still, the way they're playing right now?
Come on, man.
Oh, sorry. No,
too
but
soon.
I mean, they have,
too soon.
Sorry, but they have so-called professional players that 70% of the time are not making a hit. So if you bat 300, you're like an all-star or whatever.
For sure, yeah.
So the failure rate is higher than the success rate, and I would say that that's what makes that sport fun. This is what makes jazz fun in that we're always trying. It's not like, how do I get to play better? Well, I figured that out when I was 26, and I just sort of rode along since then. So the grind of trying to get better is never ending. But I think that the community that we have are people that enjoy that.
That's
right. And it's not the pain, it's the joy of that process. So this is not a magic pill to get you out of that. I think this is something that, if anything, will make the journey better.
Yep.
It'll optimize it. It'll get you moving faster, more efficiently, but you're still on that journey. But maybe it'll give you the fortitude to be able to continue on with joy.
Well, and it's this. I chose this one thing, and we're about to. We'll still
we're doing good. We got 4 more minutes.
I chose this one thing because I chose it because it's the one thing that I've noticed in all the really great players that I've gotten to know.
Yeah.
Have it in abundance.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing that as I improve and get better and get older and hopefully wiser, the one thing that I realize is the more I lean into this thing.
Ooh, are you going to lean into it and then we're going to unpack it?
Yeah, we can lean into it.
Podcast,
And then,
hashtag podcast speak.
so I mean, yeah. So let's talk about what it is. So
No, before we talk about what it is, let's talk about what it isn't. That'll be fun. That's how we're going to get 4 more minutes. Okay.
Is it patience? Because I feel like our listeners might need that.
Okay, it's not listen. It's not patience, although you do need patience.
It's not any kind of lick or voicing or any crap like that.
Yeah, and like we were saying, the reason this is so important is because this is the thing, the number one thing that's going to make all those other things that are important. Listen, practice, be a part of the community, learn your 2-5-1s, learn your scales, pay attention to detail, be open-minded. Of course, all those things. This is the thing that you can combine with all those, I think.
It's the glue that keeps it all.
That was another minute. How do you like that?
That's
What you got for me?
I got. Well, we should talk about it.
Okay, let's do it.
So the number one thing you need to play better.
First, this is brought to you by OpenStudioJazz.com. The finest in online lessons. Come check us out. We have a new jazz piano technique course coming out. We're doing good, man. What's the number one?
This episode is taking a real turn. It's been great. I was really in a serious and improvement mood, but you're making it really fun. Okay,
yeah, I'll set it up for you.
Okay.
The number one thing you need to play better is...
I feel like it's built up too much now. I don't think we can do this.
No, this is a good one.
Okay. The number one thing you need to play better is resilience.
Resilience!
That's what it is.
Yes. Now,
it took a lot of resilience to get through those first 5 minutes of this podcast.
So if you're still here, you're very resilient. Now, we were talking about this before, and I was like, man, do I really know... I feel like I know the definition of that, but I just want to read this, and then I want you to just sort of give your thoughts on it, just to frame things, because I need this. Resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Semicolon, toughness.
That's right.
Those are both, kind of main definitions.
Resilience, grit, stick-to-itiveness, thick skin, whatever you want to call this or frame it, however cliched you want to get with it, get there, because having resilience, having that ability to recover after difficulties, it happens on a micro level, like in the middle of a phrase. You can uncover a difficulty, a problem that needs to be solved, and you have to stick to. You can't just walk away from the piano, or just like be like, or whatever. Like you gotta try to find the music in that and find yourself in that, and then it can happen at an incredibly macro level, on the level of your career. You know what I mean, or your life of decisions. We get letters all the time. We get emails all the time from people who are like, what should I pursue music? Should I not? Like that is part of resilience of how you want to be a part of this music, and it could be as serious as a professional musician who's, really needs resilience to get through technical hurdles and professional difficulties and financial whatever, to like a hobbyist who's just like, well, I can't get that time feel the way I want it. Like even that takes a resilience that is the number one thing you need to grow, because you won't put in the time to fix things. You won't care enough to get things right unless you can come back after some difficulties. Yeah.
And look, we know the difficulties are coming for everybody.
For sure.
So like already put that on it's like if you're going out for a run and the 10 miles and at mile 8 there's a big uphill.
That's right.
Once you start out, no matter how fast you go or how great you're feeling, that hill's still going to be there. You can't be like, oh, maybe when I get there, it's going to be down this time. You know? No, that's coming. So once you get that in your mind, there will be difficulties. Because I noticed about this definition, and I don't know that this is the be all end all, but I like this one because it's the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It doesn't say recover quickly from failures. Although that's important too, and that's probably a part of this.
I think certainly in the category of difficulties.
It's in the category, but because it's difficulties, is a little bit more encompassing.
Totally.
And so like what you were saying, even in the solo, like you can, it's easy to say, okay, I'm resilient because I failed. The whole solo fell apart. I got lost. It was horrible, but I still got back up there on the next tune. Yeah, that's important, and that's resilience. But as to your point about like the micro thing, even a little thing that nobody notices, recovering quickly, ooh, that's important for a jazz musician.
For sure.
That's actually how you build solos.
That's how you build it,
because you want to get into difficulties. That's what makes it exciting for the audience. I mean, who hasn't heard that kind of solo that's just perfect and bland? It's just like a story or a movie. It's like the Sorry, I'm gonna hate a little bit. Can I hate?
Please.
Can we open up the hate?
I would love it.
Give me some haterade.
Whoever you're about to hate on, they better have resilience, is all I'm saying.
Ooh, it's my wife. Sorry. Oh, well, no, she watches this channel sometimes called the Hallmark Channel.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and I'm hating on the Hallmark.
We gotta have the wives back on. Yeah, they love. She loves it.
Does Madam Maness watch that show?
Yes.
I think their life is so hard with us that like they
need some.
they need some the blandest
Bland
rom-com
because we're just monsters that come in.
But the thing is, like those stories, like there is no resilience required for any of the characters because there's no difficulties.
No.
There's no drama. I mean, it's just.
I mean, there is a little bit, but it's like
it's like
Jimmy was gone for a week.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, come on. Yeah. So it's like you don't want to hear a jazz solo like there where like everybody's pretty and like the solo's pretty but it never gets into any troubles, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talk about the master Herbie Hancock so much. He's one of many that can do this, but he's certain at that master level of getting himself into difficulties. Ooh, isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
When he's got to get himself out, that's like the thrilling part of the solo.
I mean, OP.
That's resilience.
We think of Oscar Peterson as being this clean piano player, but he gets himself into trouble.
Man, he backed himself into a corner like a piano playing felon.
And I mean, he obviously has the technical confidence to be able to get him out of these corners whenever he wants. Not whenever he wants, but you can hear him working through it, right? Are you doing that just for Anat Cohen?
Yeah. Anat Cohen recently said she was the great Anat Cohen, master of the saxophone and clarinet and Hebrew language as well, fluent in Hebrew.
Nice.
As she's from Israel. She was commenting, she was just in the pod cave the other day and said how much she loves the You'll Hear podcast, but she said, I need to stop making so much noise with my food and drink. And you know what? I was like, really? It's a free podcast, okay? We never got that complaint from anyone else, but...
Well, I hope you have the resilience to take that criticism and carry on.
Yeah, I'll recover quickly. No, but this is good. And then I love the other definition, which is just toughness.
Totally.
And this, I think, falls under the category even more as that we are artists. I mean, yes, maybe we're jazz musicians first. Hey, maybe we're humans first. Maybe we're humans, people, musicians, whatever. There's many things that we are. But I think... being in that broader group of artists, we got to be tough, because the world needs us, and this is not about lifting up, trying to lift up any individual. I'm talking about artists. Like we're the ones who speak truth through our art. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Like when we get knocked down from a difficulty, it's because we're trying to get to that mountaintop of like speaking truth and it doesn't have to always be overtly political or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to mirror the world, the joys, the sadness, all these things, and that's hard.
It's
and
hard.
we can't be like, oh, I'm scared or what. We have to be tough because that's what our job is. It's like if you're a garbage man or garbage woman and you're out there, you can't be like, ooh, garbage smells bad. No, that's the gig.
That's the gig,
you gotta
man.
be toughen up.
Jazz definitely smells bad a lot of times.
I mean, the good thing, you're done by like 9 a.m. You can be like to take naps all day. That's good for that job. But I mean, each gig has its thing, and as an artist, we got to be tough.
Man, so I think
let's go fight, man. Come on.
No, I think often sports has great analogies to this, and I was just reminded because you reminded me of the woeful St. Louis Cardinals, our beloved baseball team here in St.
Are they
Louis.
beloved today? Actually,
they had a difficult night last night. Their young starting pitcher Jack Flaherty got lit up. They lost like 9-1 or something.
Yeah.
He was the best pitcher in baseball the second half of the season in the entire National League.
What about the second half of the playoffs?
No, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But he's a good follow on Instagram. He's a young kid, and he's like he's got a really great attitude. And
his IG is slamming.
No, but he posted today, and I think this has a lot. I mean, he had a really rough night in his first big like national stage playoff thing, and he said, "Life is for living, not living uptight. # don't think." And I feel like that is some resilience. You know what I mean?
He also said, # I made $9 million this year.
Exactly. No, but I mean,
eases the pain.
That's rough. Like to go out there and fail,
on a big stage.
He pitched well too. It just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Which happens sometimes. You could play well and it doesn't work out. But I love the idea of that. Like this music is for playing, not for playing uptight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you gotta get over stuff fast. Have a short memory. I like his hashtag. He's hashtagged this a lot. Don't think. Which I think is something we talk about a lot. Like, when people say, what do you think about when you're playing? Like, ideally, nothing.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, part of a tool.
We're masters of the no thinking podcast.
I got nothing going on up here. No, but I think the no think thing, that's a tool to sort of help you get over these difficulties, right?
Yes.
So you're not thinking about the difficulty. You're just not thinking. You just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And the toughness comes in that, like, this is not to say being resilient and recovering quickly means you're unprepared. That's not an excuse for
Oh,
that.
no. Opposite.
Yeah. So the reason we can be tough and soldier on and all those kind of things is because we know we're putting our best stuff out there. So
right.
it's all about the preparation. And then you can kind of relax, but you are going to get into difficulties. How are you going to respond?
That's right.
That's the resilience.
That's right.
And I think in the practice routine as well, this is especially, it's like if you're practicing well and like developing, you're going to be doing gigs and probably getting some accolades and some gigs and some money and like things are going to be going well. So it's easy to be like, oh, I don't need to be resilient. Everything, because you're going to be on the upswing and that's great.
Yeah.
But what about when you're in the practice room by yourself? Can you be honest with yourself and be like, wow, I'm kind of like, because that's where the resilience is really going to help you out.
To thine own self be true.
Oh,
you know
hello.
what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Who said that?
Hold yourself accountable. I don't know.
Walt Shakespeare.
Good old Walt. No, Billy Shakespeare.
Or is it William Whitman? Who knows? I love the Whitman candy sampler.
We're not really great with the English language, so
No.
we apologize to our...
We speak it fluently.
kind of.
All right, well, that was good. So we made a commitment yesterday to read every rating and not every rating, because some people just leave a rating. We can't read that. There's nothing to read. It's just stars. It's like blinded by stars.
So many stars.
But we're reading everybody who takes the time, and we appreciate it so much. We're going to read it out loud, and we did our first one yesterday. We're going to go back in time because we haven't gotten any since then, but that's okay. So can we do that now?
I wish
Is
you
this a
would.
good time?
Yeah.
I love the title of this one. Oh, this is the other thing. You can leave a title to your review. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Okay, so this title is 7 Up. 7 Up. And it's from
7 Up?
Bassman Ken in Ireland. We get a lot of love in Ireland. Adam appears to be the sensible one holding down the wacky guy, Peter, who for some reason reminds me of Brian Griffin. Don't know who that is. The whole thing, I think he's a comedian. Good-looking comedian. Great jazz musician. The whole thing is hilarious. I try to save up a few shows to listen on my way to work, which breaks up the commute and always delivers me with a smile on my face. The fact that P&A are discussing jazz topics, theory, tips, etc., is an added bonus as it covers a whole spectrum of interesting questions. I love how he says that's an added bonus. We always think of that as the meat and potatoes, but
sure.
apparently it's just an added bonus. But that's probably true. Covers a whole spectrum of interesting questions from the speak pipe and selected topic from P&A themselves. This podcast is funny, entertaining, and educational. Write that down, Ryan. Funny, entertaining, and education. And I look forward to listening to the guys at every opportunity. Well done. Thank you, Bassman Ken. Appreciate that. We invite you to leave a rating and review wherever you consume this podcast, be that Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher. We're rising on Stitcher.
Are we,
YouTube.
though? Are we rising on
We
Stitcher?
are rising on Stitcher. We are rising, man.
right.
Stop hating on Stitcher. We got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, you'll hear it.